Welcome in to another Musings from the Mind of tutorial. We're going to look at making a reflection in a puddle with rainwater. So we're going to look at a couple of effects. We're going to look at refraction. We're going to look at creating a rain generator and using some weight paint. So with that said, let's jump into Blender. As you can see, we're going to have a little bit going on here. And so let's do File, New, General. My default scene has a stroke and a plane. Yours probably has a cube and a camera and maybe a light. Let's just hit A, and we're going to delete everything. We don't want anything here. I'm going to do Shift A. We're going to add a mesh plane, and I'm going to do Shift D. And Z, we're going to bring that up on the Z axis. I'm going to select that first plane again, Shift D, RX 90 to rotate it on the X axis, and GY to move it back on the Y axis. And we're going to have, this is going to be our puddle. This is going to be, this bottom plane is going to be our puddle. This top plane is going to be our particle system, and this back plane is going to be what we use to reflect. So let's just make this easy. We're going to do puddle, puddle, rain, background. Okay, a couple things we want to do that we're going to need for this. Let's go into our settings here. We want to make sure screen space reflections is on. Make sure you have that checked. We're in the Eevee engine. I want to go to the world, and I am going to make the world black. So we're going to start here with this guy, and it's important we do this in this order. We're going to go add first a subdivision surface. We're going to select simple, and we're going to select 5 for our rendered and viewport. And then we're going to go down here to physics, and we're going to add a dynamic paint canvas, and we're going to add the canvas. We'll come back here in a minute to add some settings, but it's very important that your subdivision surface is above your dynamic paint in your modifiers on this puddle plane. And then we're going to go up here. I thought I had renamed this, and I didn't. We're going to call this rain again. And on your rain, we're going to go add a particle system. I want to just let it go the full 250 frames. Depending on how hard you want it to rain, I'm just going to select 100 here. And then we're going to see we're going to have these particles. And if you'll see, the particles are going up and coming down. We're going to rotate X 180. That way the particles, the face is actually facing the same direction as gravity. All right, let's go down to physics, and we're going to add dynamic paint. This time we're going to add a brush. Add brush. We're going to change the paint to a particle system, and we're going to select our particle system here. And then let's see, I need to go back to my puddle plane, and I need to scroll down here, and I want my surface type to be waves. And then we see we're just beating the snot out of this guy. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to shade smooth just so it's prettier, but this is more like hail dropping in an ocean than it is raindrops in a puddle. So let's go back up here, and let's take our effect, and let's go down to say 0.075, and that's a little better. Let's jump down here to this guy. Again, in the canvas settings, and we're going to change the scale up to 3. That's looking a little better. Let's go back up to our particles and make this 0.05. All right, that's given us some good good puddles and rings there. So then what we want to do is I am going to now go and I am going to switch to the render view where you see we have nothing. Let's go, actually before I do that, let's go back here. Let's add an image texture to this guy. So let's just hit new on our material. Let's go down here and let's shift A, and we're going to add an image texture. And we want, we're going to plug this in to color, to base color. And then I'm going to select, let's see, this guy right here. And you'll see, that's what I want there. So we'll go here. Oh, I did alpha. I was like, that's not making sense. So let's put the color into the base color. And you see we have the image there. I'm going to get Z, and I'm just going to bring this up because I kind of want the buildings to be what's reflected. But you see when we go to render view, it's all black, and that's because we need to add some emission to this. So we're just going to take the color and we're going to drop it into emission. And now our picture is emitting light. We also need to go up here to our rain, go into our particles, go to rendered, and select don't show emitter. And we're going to do the same thing in viewport. Don't show emitter. That way it's transparent. But we're not getting the reflection that we want. So let's go here. We're going to go to our material view. We're going to add a new material. And then we're going to do two things. We're going to take roughness completely to 0. And you see we're starting to get some reflection there. And I'm going to take metallic up maybe to about 0.25-ish. And then we're going to shift A. We're going to add a camera. I want to hit Control Alt 0 so I can kind of get the camera to the view. And then I'm going to go under camera, and I am going to bring this down to like maybe 22 millimeters. Get Z on the camera because I just kind of want to just focus on that reflection. I want to grab this guy here. I want to go rotate X, and I'm going to rotate it a little to see if I can get maybe a little bit better of an angle on that reflection. And then we're going to render image just to see what we've got so far. And you're going to notice two things. Number one, there's no reflection. And the other thing you would notice if there was a reflection is that there is no ripples being generated. So let's do a couple of things here first. Let us go to add, and then I'm going to do light probe, and then we'll do reflection plane. And I am going to get Z. Let's pull this guy up to about right there. And render image. And you'll see now we have the reflection, but it's perfectly still. We don't see any of the ripples that we're seeing here. And that's because for the weight paint to show up in the render view, or dynamic paint rather, we have to bake this, and you'll see we can't bake it till it's saved. So we're just going to do File, Save As. I'm just going to call this Rain. I might save, and then I'm going to jump down here. I'm going to bake. It's going to take it just a second to calculate those fields. There we go. Got some. Should have some good ripples there, and render. Oh, I didn't mean to do render animation. Let's close out of that. And let's go render image. And you'll see there we have both our reflection and also the puddles. So just as kind of a recap for us in Eevee, for us to get this reflection to work right, we've got to put a probe light reflective plane, and we need to make sure it's above the wave, because if the wave interacts with it, it will make it look wonky. We need to bake our wave action in our dynamic paint for it to render. With that, I hope this is helpful and a quick way to make rainy puddles that are reflecting a scene. Till the next time.